لا إله إلا الله 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 لا إله إلا الله جود علينا.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. After praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and sending salutations, peace and blessings upon the best of creation, the jewel and crown of creation, the beloved of Allah Almighty, the coolness to our eyes, the purpose of our lives, the reviver of our hearts, the inspirer to our minds, the awakener of our souls, the most honored one, the most praised one, the most generous one, the most kind one. Undoubtedly, He is the most beautiful one. None other than Sayyiduna Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa barak wa sallam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Al-Quran Al-Kareem, in Surah Al-Furqan, juz number 19, verse number 63, He subhanahu wa ta'ala describes His servants, those who are closest to Him. And after mentioning the servants of the Merciful, Allah Almighty describes their qualities. He said, وَعِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنِ الَّذِينَ يَمْشُونَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ هَوْنًا. And the servants of the Most Merciful are those who walk upon the earth in humility, with no arrogance. They are humble when they walk. وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا. And when the ignorant address them, they respond peacefully, or they say, peace be upon you, or they respond gently. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes them, but first He acknowledges them, He accepts them. How? When He said, وَعِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنِ. This in the Arabic language is murakkab idafi. This is mudaf and mudaf ilay. This is that compound of connection. Like here, it's a pen. هذا قلم. This is a pen. But if I want to say this is my pen, هذا قلمي. قلمي is mudaf ilay. You, in the Arabic language, when you want to take ownership of something, or you want to have attachment and connection to of something, then you would use this terminology, or you would use this compound. So, Qalamu Munir. Qalamu Munir means what? Munir's qalam, Munir's pen. Meaning that Munir has ownership of the pen. He owns this pen. He has control over this pen. And Allah Almighty, as a token of acceptance, and not only as a token of acceptance, but as a connection, Allah Almighty said, وَعِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنِ. The Merciful's servants. He didn't say وَعِبَادُ اللَّهِ. I mean, عِبَادُ we are كُلُّنَا عِبَادُ اللَّهِ. Every single one of us are the servants and the worshippers of Allah. But here, He begins the verse of the Quran with وَعِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنِ. And the servants of the Most Merciful. Meaning that those who are, these are makhsus. And Allah Ta'ala is giving khususiyat here. Generally, we are all the slaves of Allah. But Allah here is signaling and specifying specifically the servants of the Merciful. And these servants have a link to the sifa of Allah of mercy. They have a link to Allah's sifa of rahmah. Hence why He said, وَعِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنِ, and the servants of the most merciful. Allah Almighty is the most merciful, and His khas bandeh, His unique special people are who? They are those الَّذِينَ يَمْشُونَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ هَوْنًا. They walk on this earth in humility. They have mercy. They are Allah's servants. And when they walk, now Allah Almighty, you see, Allah has used يَمْشُونَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ. Literally, it's walking on this earth, walking on the land. Those, when they walk. But this has a deeper meaning than just walking on the land. The deeper meaning is what? In their innate nature, the nature of Allah's special servants. In their innate nature, the special servants of Allah Almighty, what quality do they have? Humility. Humbleness, humility is a huge quality of Allah's special servants. The closest to Allah Almighty are the most humblest. Man tawada'a lillahi rafa'ahu Allah. He who is humble in the court of Allah Almighty. Man tawada'a lillah. He who has tawadu' lillah. He has humility for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rafa'ahu Allah. Allah Almighty will elevate his maqam. Allah will raise his ranks. Allah will raise his stations. Allah will give him a huge status and maqam. Why? Because of his rank, his status. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that His servants are those who walk on this earth with humility. يَمْشُونَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ هَوْنًا وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا. And Allah's servants are going to be attacked. Allah's servants are going to be challenged. The slaves of Allah Almighty, the most merciful, they are going to be tested. More so by those who are ignorant. Those who have compounded ignorance. Those who don't understand the religion. Those who have no sense of this religion. The juhala, jahilun, ignorant people, they are going to attack the servants of Allah. They are going to misunderstand the servants of Allah. They are going to test the servants of Allah Almighty. So Allah said, وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا. When the ignorant will address them, when the ignorant will talk to them, when the ignorant will talk about them. What is ignorance? What is jahl? عدم العلم. تعرف الأشياء بأعدادها بأدادها. Things are known by the opposites. The opposite of cold is hot. If you want to experience hot, you experience cold, you understand it by its opposites. The opposite of darkness is light. When there's no light, it's dark. It's opposites. And the opposite of knowledge is ignorance, lack of knowledge, no knowledge. That's what jahl is. Ignorance is you have no ilm. You don't know. You know, commonly in conversation we say, oh, the guy's ignorant. When we're trying to say he's actually arrogant. He's not ignorant. Ignorant is what? When you ignore the fact. Or ignorant is when you, more specifically, lack knowledge. That's where the term ignorant is used. They lack knowledge, they compounded ignorance. When even knowledge comes to them, a jahlul murakkab, when compounded ignorance is that knowledge comes to them and they still deny it and reject it. Like Abu Jahl, he had knowledge of Allah Almighty, it came to him, but he still denied. What can be worse ignorance than kufr? The worst type of ignorance is kufr. Why? You completely deny the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, belief in Allah Jalla wa ala, yet knowing, you know full well, this knowledge has come to you. So, you've got people out there who are like this. وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ. Even within Islam, we have many people who lack knowledge, who have no knowledge. Therefore, they would fall into the category of ignorance. And they say ignorance is bliss. If you don't know, you won't be questioned. If you do know, you will be questioned. So in the West, there's this saying, this term is coined, ignorance is bliss. You're safe if you're ignorant. But the moment you have more knowledge, all of a sudden, the accountability increases. You know better, you know more. Therefore, you will be judged differently. Therefore, you will be questioned differently. Because of your knowledge, because of what you know that I don't know. So, you see there's levels. So you've got ignorance. Heedlessness is, and ignorance is what? The devil's workshop. When your lack of knowledge, when you're lazy and you're heedless, what is this? This is a sense of what? A person who the devil will attack him all the time. And the shaitan wants you to remain ignorant. He doesn't want you to have knowledge. Because if you remain ignorant, as in you know that you can go and learn and he stops you from doing this, he's achieved his job. Because where does the power lie? Power lies in ilm. And what lies within knowledge? Al-ilmun nafi'. What lies within beneficial knowledge? You see, there's different types of knowledge. Mathematics is a knowledge. Science is a knowledge. Geography is a knowledge. History is a knowledge. These are knowledges, these are sciences, this is education. But which ilm is al-ilmun nafi'? Which ilm is beneficial knowledge? Knowledge which will benefit you. What is it? There's no greater knowledge that will benefit you more than the knowledge of Tawheed, oneness of Allah. Risala of the Prophet ﷺ. Knowledge of the Prophet ﷺ. Knowledge of the Quran, knowledge of the Hadith. This is the real knowledge that will benefit you. The life of Rasulullah ﷺ, how they lived, and you knowing that, then you can embody that. You can implement that. You can imitate that. Yani the knowledge which is of benefit, al-ilmun nafi', is the al-ilmu, al-ilmu deen, religious knowledge. Knowledge of this, the deen. This is what will be of benefit to people. So we see that you've got knowledge, and the opposite of knowledge is jahl, ignorance. وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ. The ignorant address them. Those who lack knowledge, who have no knowledge, who no understanding. إِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا. When ignorant people who lack knowledge, who have no knowledge, address them, no understanding, they will always, the men of Allah, the servants, the special servants of Allah Almighty will always respond to them peacefully. Because they are the servants of Allah, they have humility inside them. They will not get aggressive. Why? Because they have knowledge. Al-ilmu nurun. Knowledge is light. You will find light when you seek knowledge. On your path to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will be illuminated. That's what the Quran does. The Quran is a book of light, meaning it illuminates your heart. It takes you out of the darkness and depths of ignorance, the darkness and depths of heedlessness. Knowledge takes you out of that darkness and brings you into this nur, this light which is ilm. But then just ilm on its own is not enough. Shaitan had a lot of ilm. His ilm promoted him to become the teacher of the angels. He was respected and lauded by the angels. But when it came to the crunch, when it mattered, and he bowed down to Adam, فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا Iblis. They all bowed down except the shaitan. Iblis did not do it. He says, no, I can't. I'm better than him. Arrogance destroyed him. Thinking he was too clever destroyed him. And lack of respect and adab. He had no adab. Shaitan had no adab. If the shaitan had adab, then today he wouldn't be the shaitan. It is adab. You see, you can have ilm. If you have no adab, then there's nothing. You know, adab is key. There's many people out there who have ilm, but they lack adab. Great scholars spent years with Sayyidina Malik rahmatullah alayhi, Malik ibn Anas, Imam Malik of Medina Munawwara. One of them said, I spent 20 years in his service. 20 years I sat with him, stood with him, walked with him, traveled with him, took knowledge from him. He said, in those 20 years, the first 18 years he taught me adab, manners, etiquette, behavior. And then the last 2 years of the 20, he taught me something from the books. Yani, ba adab, ba murad, be adab, be murad. You have adab, you have purpose. You have nobility. You have no adab, no respect and moral and ethic. You have no ethics within you. You have no morality within you. You have no respect within you. No adab, you lack adab. Then, be adab, be murad. He's got nothing, no purpose, nothing. He's lost. And today's generation of young people, what is the biggest thing they're missing? Adab. They lack adab. Parents are not teaching them adab. Teachers are not teaching them adab. The world we live in is a world filled with immorality, lack of adab, lack of respect. Adab can mean respect, adab can mean manners, adab can be translated to as ethics, morals, standards. You know, these adab, where are the morals and standards and ethics of the real men of Allah? Allah is telling us here. Who are they? They are those who are humble. That's adab, humility. What is it? They have ilm, knowledge. What is adab? What is mannerism and morality and etiquette? What is this adab that the youth are missing? That when they are being corrected, they respond aggressive. You would go to them, tell them, don't do this. Who are you to tell me? You know who my dad is? You know who my brother is? You know who I chill with? Who are you to correct me? Where's the adab gone? Not knowing that this person may be telling you for your benefit. It's going to help you in your life, not him. He's been there, done that. But instead, he responds arrogantly. He responds aggressively. But how do the servants of Allah Almighty respond? وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامٌ. They respond with adab, peacefully. They don't get aggressive in their response. They listen and they say, no problem. Okay. This is why Imam Shafi'i rahmatullah alayhi, Muhammad ibn Idris al-Shafi'i rahimahullah ta'ala, the great Imam Shafi'i rahmatullah alayhi, he would never debate and argue with someone who lacked knowledge, fool, an ignoramus. Someone who was ignorant, who had no ilm. Imam Shafi'i never gave him the time of day. They said, why don't you give these people time? He said, if I gave them time, they would bring me down to their level and beat me. If I debated every person who claims he has ilm, he'd defeat me. Where's his chain? Where's his sanad? Where's his source of knowledge? Where does he take it from? Who has he studied with? Who does he learn from? What's his teachers? You know, in that time, when they wanted to do a CRB check on someone, they wanted to do a credit check on someone, or they wanted to know the history of who he is, what did they do? Summu lana rijalukum. Tell me your teachers. Name your asatiza. Who did you take knowledge from? I took from Imam Shafi'i, I took from Imam Ahmad, I took from Abu Hanifa, I took from Sufyan ibn Uyayna, I stood with Abdullah bin Mubarak, I sat with him, I took hadith from him. When Imam Bukhari is standing around and he's saying that my ustaz and teacher is Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, bro, there's game over. You cannot debate and argue with the great Bukhari then. Because look who his teacher is. He's the greatest Imam of that time, Ahmad bin Hanbal. When Imam Ahmad is asked, who's your teacher? He says, Shafi'i is my teacher. Imam Shafi'i rahmatullah of Egypt, who's buried in Egypt right now. Yes, Imam Shafi'i is my teacher. Can't touch him. His teachers are on a different level. You know, there's a chain of transmission. There's teachers, there's knowledge, there's ilm. Today, but what's the key? What did these great Imams have? What made them exceptional? They had adab, they had manners, they had respects and morals. That's what they had. Today's youth and kids lack this. They have no morals, no ethics. They don't know this person, okay, he might be telling me wrong. He might not be good for me, but because he's older than me, I'll give him this much respect that he's older than me. चलो इतना भी था अदब चाह देने हाँ इतना रिस्पेक्ट चाह देने कि चलो गल उन्होंने दुरुस्त तो है ना हुआ इतना तो है न कि बुजुर्ग इन्होंने चिट्टे बाला ने सदके वजह तू चलो चुप करी जाने कोई गल नहीं बुजुर्गो तू आने हो ठीक है यानी we don't, our kids don't even have this much that this is an old man your grandfather's age with white hair. We don't have this much adab and respect to say, well, you know what? In a society when there is a lack of adab, you see the Prophet ﷺ's teachings, majority of them were about what? Manners, adab, character, etiquette. He is not from us. He who does not respect his elders and love his youngsters. He who does not respect his elders is not from us. He is not from my ummah. He's not a part of my tradition and people. He who doesn't respect his elders. Kids today lack respect. No respect, no adab, no care, no etiquette. Yani our entire deen is found upon adab. Etiquettes, manners, morals, standards by which we should hold ourselves to account. Standards, morals and ethics which our Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, who had better than him? He was the greatest in adab. وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَىٰ خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ إِنَّ رَبِّي أَدَّبَنِي فَأَحْسَنَ تَأْدِيبِي. My Lord, He nurtured me, He taught me adab. And the best of adab, sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, adab, etiquettes, manners, how we are, morals, these, we've lost this. That's why our society is immoral. That's why we have what we have out there with the youth. They don't, because we lack basic respect, then if the basics are not there, then how do you expect them to bring about a change? How do you bring a revolution? We've got to go back to the core, all of this goes back then to what? Your qalb, your heart. And what's more important than your a'mal? What is more important than your actions? What's more important than even the prayers and the fast and everything? Yani the bunyad, the foundation of everything is what? Niyyah, intention. إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. Niyat, you can say, I didn't do hajj in my life, but I made niyat to do hajj. Allah will give you ajr of hajj. Just for having a niyyah al-khalis. Sincere intention. Sincerity, good intention, morals, ethics, etiquette, humility, all of these qualities go back to about maybe 6 weeks, 7 weeks ago when I did the Jummah on Futuwa. And what makes a man, who real men are, when you go back to that and couple that up, bring those points that I made in those Jumu'ahs now forward to this. This is what it is. This is your whole life is found upon this. And what are our youth missing? What is this young generation, this new generation missing? Adab. You can't find adab in mobiles. Adab is not taught on TikTok. Adab is not. TikTok is the complete opposite of adab. TikTok is the complete opposite of adab. This is the thing which is destroying the adab in our children. TikTok, Snapchat, social media, mobile phones for our kids. It's destroying the adab inside them. They're getting so dependent upon mobiles, they can't live without it. Life cannot exist. 30 years ago, 40 years ago, elders are sat here. Life continued without these mobiles, without social media. There was more adab, there was more sukoon, there was more contentment. Now, we've got the best way to communicate. One dialing of 11 digits and khalas, I communicate with him. Straight away, I can get on the phone and talk to him. But what's missing? Communications got better. Travel has got better. Life has become easier, but we're missing adab. There's no adab left. No adab for one another, no respect, no morals, no ethics, no akhlaq, no adab. Lack of this in our society has led to where we are today. And you will not find these adab and akhlaq inside what? Mobiles. They can't teach you. Where will you find adab? Where does a child learn his adab from? First and foremost, his father and mother. He will learn adab and etiquette from home. When your adab is not right, then you know what will happen? People will say, oh, his mom and dad must be like this. Is this what your parents taught you? You don't know how to talk to someone. You don't know how to sit. You don't know how to stand. You have no morals, no ethics. You have nothing. You don't know he's your elder. You don't know they're younger than you. Show him a bit of love. Yani, the first people will point finger at who? Parents. Because the first point of reference, the first point of teaching adab is whom? Parents. Parents are the first role models in our youth's lives. Then adab comes from who? Everything around them. We need to be careful what our children are watching, what they are learning, where they are going, who their company is, because they will pick up habits from them, which will then mold them to become who they are. Society will mold them. Therefore, you need to control that, especially in the first 15, 16, 17, 18 years of your child's life. You've got to be strict. You have to be strict on them. Otherwise, they're going to be lost in this world. Look at what's happening. No GCSEs, I'll just shut on the streets. I'll get a beeline, and boom, I'll make a couple of hundred every day. You know, if that, and get into debt and deal into drugs and whatnot, and you're lost. And where does it come down to? Lack of adab. You know, adab, morals, ethics, it comes down to this. And these morals and ethics are the key. And Allah talks about عِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنِ الَّذِينَ يَمْشُونَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ عَوْنًا وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا. When the ignorant, those who lack adab, address them, they respond with adab. The men of Allah will have adab inside them. They will respond with adab. وَالَّذِينَ يَبِيتُونَ لِرَبِّهِمْ سُجَّدًا وَقِيَامًا. And they are those people who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what are they? يَبِيتُونَ لِرَبِّهِمْ. All night they will stand in ruku and sujood worshipping Allah Jalla wa ala. Allah's servants. وَالَّذِينَ يَقُولُونَ رَبَّنَا اصْرِفْ عَنَّا عَذَابَ جَهَنَّمَ إِنَّ عَذَابَهَا كَانَ غَرَامًا. And they are those that they make this dua all the time. Oh Allah, avert from us, move away from us, protect us from the punishment of the hellfire. Indeed, its punishment will be an eternal, permanent punishment. And then, إِنَّهَا سَاءَتْ مُسْتَقَرًّا وَمُقَامًا وَالَّذِينَ إِذَا أَنفَقُوا لَمْ يُسْرِفُوا وَلَمْ يَفْتُرُوا وَكَانَ بَيْنَ ذَلِكَ قَوَامًا. Allah talks about the qualities. That when they give in Allah's way, they don't waste what they have, what Allah has given them. There are people who are grounded in morality and ethics. And this is the key for each and every one of us to take away. And these days that we are going through, in the last few days of Safar, in this month, very famous man of Allah Jalla wa ala, everyone from Barre Saghir, Indo-Pak knows who this man is. Hazrat Data Ali bin Usman al-Khujwiri rahmatullah alayhi, known as Data Ganj Bakhsh. He's buried in Lahore over 979 years ago. Around 979 years ago, he passed away in these days. And this man was whom? This man was one of the great men of Allah, who was so well nurtured, so well educated, that he grew up in Afghanistan, modern day, that time it was called Ghaznavid. And how he changed the society, how he changed people through nurturing them, teaching them adab, educating them. And through this, what did Allah Almighty then do? Elevated the maqam of Hazrat Data Sahib. That after him, in this very same Barre Saghir, Indo-Pak, India, Pakistan that we find now, in that time there was no India, Pakistan. It was known as Barre Saghir, that's it. It's the subcontinent. 150 years later, Khwaja Muinuddin comes. Allah Ta'ala sends this great Sheikh Kamil, this great Wali Kamil, Khwaja Muinuddin Ajmeri Rahmatullah Alayhi of Ajmer Sharif in India. And before he went to Ajmer in India, Hazrat Khwaja Muin Rahmatullah Alayhi, a Sanjari, a Chishti Rahmatullah Alayhi, this great Imam, this great Sheikh, 40 days and nights he did chilla at Data Sahib's Darbar in Lahore. And when he came out of this seclusion at the maqam of Hazrat Data Sahib Rahmatullah Alayhi, he said what? Ganj Bakhsh, Faiz Alam, Mazhar Noor Huda, Nakisaram Pir Kamil, Kamilara Rahnuma. He said, Ganj Bakhsh, Faiz Alam. This Data Ali Hujweri, whose 40 nights I've spent. He said, this man of Allah has spread faiz all across the world. He's Ganj Bakhsh. Yani all the treasures of Allah Jalla wa Ala, Allah has given to this man. Faiz Alam, Mazhar Noor Huda. He is the manifestation of the divine light of Allah Jalla wa Ala, the manifestation of God's guidance. Nakisaram Pir Kamil, those who are Nakis, those who have nobody, this is the perfect Pir and this is the perfect Sheikh for them. And Kamilara Rahnuma, and those who are Kamil, those who are great men of Allah, he is the perfect guide and role model for them. Yani this is, Khwaja Muin is saying this. And then 300 years after Khwaja Muin, the great Mujaddid Al-Fsani Rahmatullah Alayhi, Sayyidina Ahmad Sarhandi Al-Faruqi Rahmatullah Alayhi, great Imam, Imam Rabbani, he is known as Al-Imam Al-Rabbani, Mujaddid Al-Thani. He was the reviver of the first millennium. He came, Allah sent him to this world. And thereafter, many, Shaykh al-Muhakkik, Abdul Haq Muhaddith Dehlawi, and then Pir Sayyid Meher Ali Shah Sahib Rahmatullah Alayhi, Tajdar Golra Sharif, and the likes of Imam Ahl Sunnah, Shah Ahmad Raza Muhaddith Breli Rahmatullah Alayhi. Great Imams came over the years in the country that our roots go back to. Barre Saghir, in Pakistan, in India, many great awliya, many great men who Allah is describing in the Quran, they had these sifat, they had these attributes. Allah Ta'ala allow us to be lovers of these great friends of Allah. Allah Almighty bestow in us qualities like humility and beneficial knowledge. And more than anything, Allah Almighty make us and our children people of adab, people of etiquette, people of morality and respect. وأقول قولي هذا استغفر الله لي ولكم وآخر دعوايا عن الحمد لله رب العالمين.
لا إله إلا الله 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 لا إله إلا الله جود علي